Hello and welcome to what will hopefully be a series documenting my design and development of uh, what you see in front of you. It'll hopefully be a little bit prettier by the time I'm done with it, whenever that is, but what you see is a cell simulation. It probably doesn't look like it, where there are a bunch of random sprites that have various organelles that are picked into just randomly whenever they blip into existence. And if this number in the top left ever drops below some value, I forget what it is right now, a random organelle will, or a random cell will spawn with some organelles. And depending on where it spawns and what its traits are, it'll either be able to collect energy or it'll slowly burn through it. So if I hover over one of these, you can see it has energy in that top left corner, and it's slowly depleting it by moving around. And if it ever reaches 0, it's going to blip out of existence, just like that. But if they are in one of these red regions here, they're actually going to accumulate energy. And you can see there's a cluster of these cells down here, which are just staying relatively still and collecting energy and then duplicating out as much as they really can. And the organelles of a cell determine basically everything about them. If they, it'll determine when they want to duplicate, if they have the energy for it. It'll determine how fast they move or the way they move. So right now, these can really only see the color of the pixel directly beneath them. So these guys generally know if they are sitting on a food region or not. And they have a small neural network to tell them whether or not they want to move towards or away from it. And I just wanted to dramatically improve on this and kind of delve into a better understanding of how to design these types of simulation videos, because I always see a bunch of posts about these types of things where people are either far into a project, but I've never really seen somebody that doesn't know anything about what they're doing go into it. So for some reference, I am not a good programmer by any means. I wouldn't even want to call myself one. I still use the Python idle IDE, and this is just the code for what you're seeing there, where I'm just, what was I even using? The Pygame feature. And this was just randomizing like their starting parameters. And if I go further down here, so this is where I'm actually mutating their cells. Like I said, I'm not a good programmer. I'm sorry if seeing this gives you a mild stroke, but whenever they mutate, their neural network weight system is going to ever slightly adjust. Like it's calling this adjust feature here, which I don't even know where that function is anymore. I probably should pulled it out into a separate script, but it just ever so slightly modifies its traits, with a small chance of it being a larger mutation where it'll vary it dramatically. And then there's logic for telling it, do you want to split, and do you have the energy to do it? And then here's the actual body of the code and the visuals for it all. What you see here is me trying to improve the way it works. Since this, I have learned very little about how compute shaders work. So I'm going to try to make this using OpenGL and allowing me to have, one, more cells on screen at the time, and two, be able to accelerate the rate at which things are calculated. Because right now, if I go back over to the cell simulation, I can increase the speed at which things are going here. How do I do it again? There, I'm increasing the quote-unquote tick speed. It doesn't work well because the way the current code works is it literally iterates through every single one of these cells and says, hey, do you need to move? Do you need to do whatever? And it's not good, but it works. So yeah, this is just going to I'm gonna probably just throw this in the trash, and I'll use the ideas to start a new one. But yeah, let me just start jumping in. Okay, here I have two of the IDEs I'm going to be using. I just have the Python IDE. This is going to be the main thing I'm going to be using for most of my body script, and then I'm going to be using Visual Studios for the doing the GLSL files. I have my old script for a compute shader pulled up on my other monitor, and I'm going to type all of the stuff out again just to reiterate it, and I'll talk through it a little bit. Like I said, I'm not. This is not something I know a lot about, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I am gonna kind of just remake some of the compute shader I've already made. My objective here is to just get a starting point where I'll have just a circle that'll bounce around the screen, and from there I'll look into talking through some of the logic I really wanted to implement with the cells to start off with. Okay, so that was a bunch of skeletal code. I followed a tutorial that I saw a while ago for doing endpoint body, or what is it actually called? I'll have a link for it. It was for end body simulation. It was the first one that I saw for a compute shader that really kind of discussed it. I kind of understand what this is. Not really. From what I know, you are basically telling the Python code, hey, I have some other code in these other places that are going to use this to use the compute shader, and it's split up into a vertex, a fragment of geometry, and a compute shader. And they're over here in the VS Studio. So this vertex shader will calculate the we'll just read in the inputs and spit them out for the geometry shader, which is what these will these out vectors and float stars. So then the geometry shader will go through and project those into the 2D screen space, which is what all these are. You can see like this is just negative x, positive y, negative x, negative y, and so on. And it just is iterating through these 4 different squares to make an output that is a single, just a square. And then the fragment shader reads in to get the color of everything in the alpha. So it's only outputting right here the out color. And then the compute shader does all the fun stuff where you're a lot of this I don't actually fully understand. I know that you have the compute size for everything. I'm pretty sure compute shaders have to be size 4 for almost everything. So like over here in my declaration of everything feeding into this, I have 4 variables for position, velocity, and color, and then I have these buffer variables. I'm not using them, but you can't feed in the buffer format, to my knowledge, anything that isn't a 4-by. So these 4 Fs are because I'm declaring that this position and color are being fed into the display, and this 4x4 is these middle velocity variables, which aren't used for the display, but I need them for the compute shader. And I think what the compute shader, so then I have the input and the output, and this is just using two different buffers that I declared here as these SSBO 1 and 2. And then I just flip-flop between the two as I start actually using the compute shader. And the main thing that really matters is this void main function, because what it does is it'll just go through and act the code on those variables. And up here, so that way, if you know anything about, if you've ever programmed before, this uniform is how I am pushing a variable from Python. So like, where is it? Right here, I'm pushing this screen size over to this uniform variable, so then I can actually use it for things within the compute shader. So if I ever wanted to do stuff on the Python side and then push it over to the compute shader, like if I had a slider or something, then I could push that value over to the compute shader to use it for whatever I needed. And what I think this will do, I haven't really tested it yet. I've run this a few times to see if there's any blatant bugs. The idle IDE is not actually a good IDE at all. And if you can tell, my Visual Studios doesn't actually have the GLSL script or the GSL library for it. So I'm basically typing in a glorified notepad and hoping for the best, because this has no debugging tools for me. So I'm kind of flying blind, and I just run it and let it tell me if there's ever a bug. So yeah, let's see what happens when I try to run this. And nothing. Okay, and after an absurd amount of debugging to eventually find out that I put 1 instead of L in a random location, this is what we have! Yay! I can draw a point. Now let me go back and change just a little bit of stuff where I now let this bounce around like a little idiot and give it a random initial velocity. Let's change this to 0.01 because I don't know the speed at which this is going to go. And okay, so turns out I had nothing wrong. I just didn't process that this is moving 1 pixel at a time, which is apparently a pretty small amount. Or not even 1 pixel, it's moving less than a pixel. So let me do random times minus 0.5 to give it a random initial and random whatever. Pull that in, multiply this by some constant 10, save that, undo it where I did it here, and let's give it, I still have 10 points, we'll leave it at that. So if I now switch over here to program view and hit run, we should have a bunch of balls bouncing around. They hit the wall, the velocity flips, and woohoo! Progress! So I think I'm going to leave it there on the programming side for now. I think next time I'm going to start actually adding these energy values and letting the cells find regions where there would be food or whatever I want to make it, and then accumulate energy on that. And if they get enough energy, then they will split apart or they'll be able to move more. And if they ever run out of energy, then they're going to blip out of existence. But I'm going to leave that for another day. So thank you for watching. I'll see you later.